Hey guys, Clumsy here. Welcome back to ETS2 Season 2. Still with our trusty Actros MP4 with Joffrey manning the fort. And we have a pretty interesting haul today. I'm actually not sure which trailer pack this comes from. This might be from our Nooks container pack. But yeah, the look kind of fits perfectly with the state of our truck, huh? Not in tip-top condition, but should be working just fine. Just the right amount of wear and tear in there. I'll take it. As always, all of the mods I'm using are in the mods list, link in the video description. So for today, we are starting off a bit, backtracking just a bit, because in the previous episode, we arrived in Moonyo. Backtracked a bit to Kitila, and making our way to Otsjoki. Sorry for the pronunciation, but yes, that's the best I can manage. And yes, we're getting more and more to the north. I hope to get to Honigsvag maybe next episode. And we'll see what we can come up with, maybe even Longyearbyen. But for today, let's warm things up, because it has been a while since the last episode and I need to get my driving skills back in shape. I have been enjoying flying too often. But it's okay. Good balance. Alright, so straight off the bat, do you guys notice anything? Let me give you a few seconds while I review what we're carrying. Flat track Lind forklifts, 22 tons. Bit off-road here. The dog is not happy about it, not at all. Yikes. Alright, so did you notice anything yet? Actually, I'm trying out a new mod. Well, not really a new mod. It's Fael's environment. An old mod that's become trusted by many. It improves the looks of the vegetation at a bit more costly performance. Makes the trees look more realistic, look more 3D and less spritey. Oh my goodness. Bumpy road much? 1 second. Let's make sure going the right road here. There you go. Okay, good. Oh my goodness. GPS lady hasn't spoken yet. Oh, are we on Russia? In Australia? Yeah. This might be a nice area to take a photo though, huh? Let's have a look outside. No wonder our truck is all rusty and everything. Reminds me of a certain game. The game that shall not be named. But there's a lot of off-road action with that game, where you drive lots of trucks. Kind of similar to this one.
After 100 yards,
but it's a lot
left.
more trolley. Left? Really? No.
Turn left.
Oh yeah, okay, it's true. Okay. Let's turn that off again. Sorry for doubting you. Let's GPS. Any cars? Oh, we're good. So yes, I think the trees in general look better. Some of them at least. They look fluffier, they look more 3D. The shading is pretty interesting. Although we still have those dreaded yellow ones that look a bit 2D-ish. Not my favorite look. But I think overall, if you look at this view, it's not bad, right? It's a lot more believable. Yeah, less like stickerish. I'll take it. So I think we'll be using files for the foreseeable future unless someone comes in and says or recommends something better, okay? But yeah, let me know what you think, if you like this too. Right, looks like this is an 80 km/h road. By the way, I have not moved to 141, so I actually went back to 140. So you guys might know 141 has been officially released. You know, Convoy, advanced photo studio elements like changing time, changing skyboxes, and whatnot. But that means losing ProMods, and I was not willing to do that.
Go straight.
Especially for this series, which is essentially requiring ProMods areas. Right, like right now, this is all ProMods if I remember correctly. So yeah, not driving this profile without ProMods, that means I'm staying in 140 for now until ProMods gets released for ETS2. Thankfully, ProMods for ATS, ProMods Canada, has already been updated. They're fast, right? It's already updated for 141. But yeah, ProMods for ETS2, a lot bigger project, so takes a lot longer, understandably. Yeah, the trees look more alive. I like it. They look a bit more flaky. Yeah, not as flat as with the default trees. And for places like these with tons of trees, I think that pays dividends. Cool. So how have you guys been? Sorry I haven't been making as many trucking videos as before. Really trying to pace myself.
Cross the rotary, second exit.
Trying to not burn myself out and really focus on the things that I find interesting. What have you guys been driving recently? Have you been driving at all? Or are you feeling the same as me sometimes, that there's sometimes you burn out and you have to try something different? You have to play a different game, or I don't know, get out of the house. Is that still a thing these days?
100 yards, turn right.
100 yards, turn right. This is the one, okay.
Turn right.
So yes, what have you guys been up to? For me, as you guys might have seen in the channel, I have been focusing on mainly truck sims and flight sims. And yes, truck sims I am relaxing a bit more, waiting for a major update, and enjoying flight sims immensely. We just recently started our world tour, very ambitious project in flight sim, starting off in Singapore, making our way west, northwest, eventually planning to go around the entire world and explore different countries. So if you want to join that adventure, there are videos in the channel already. Feel free to join and comment. I was happy to see some of the trucking fans visiting there and saying hi in the comments,
turn right.
enjoying the sightseeing that we're doing, because it's essentially a sightseeing series with a lot of aviation elements.
Turn right.
Oh, helicopter, look at that. It's a sign. So yes, even if you're not into flying so much, you can still enjoy the sightseeing aspect of it. But yeah, I'm loving them both. So I'm trying to balance it. A bit of flying here, a bit of trucking here. And I try to focus when there's a huge update somewhere, then I focus on that. Like when Convoy came out, we did a Convoy, right? When 141 came out. And now with Flight Sim, there are so many things to unpack, so many new planes. The quality is getting better and better by the minute, by the day. And next week, yeah, literally 7 days from now, we will be getting a massive update which improves the Sim's performance in up to 40% better, I think, in Flight Sim. It's going to be huge and I'm going to be flying a lot then. So expect more Flight Sim videos. I know some people are not very happy with that. They much prefer trucking videos and I totally understand it, but I have to be honest. The heart wants what it wants, right? So I have to listen to it. It's hard to fake. But that doesn't mean I don't like trucking anymore. I'm just pacing myself more. And that's why we have this video. Because from time to time, I still get that like craving, you know, I want to drive. I want to explore. I want to truck. And this is the perfect antidote to that craving. And here we are. So no worries if you're a trucking fan only. We will have videos when updates come in. We will have them. We have a feeling that Wyoming is around the corner, so we'll probably be exploring that soon, hopefully, keeping my fingers crossed. In ETS2, I'm not sure if there's anything coming up. There have been some updates, I think. Yeah, I think, who was it? I think it was Scan who shared it in Discord. Are you guys familiar with the Hungary map? It's a very old map, It's a standalone map, you know, so you require a different profile for it. If you guys are familiar with my video, my secret to realistic graphics settings, that video, that clickbaity video, I think that's my most watched video ever. I'm not exactly proud of it because it's very clickbaity title, but I think a lot of people found some use for it, you know, found it to be helpful, so that's great. Even if it was a bit clickbaity in some aspects. Maybe the clickbait was worth it. Oh, interesting. Those interesting looking flowers. But yes, that video, we were actually in Hungary, where I recorded that, the Hungary map. And it's great to see. So the original author, I think, has stopped since. But I think... Oh, 50 here. Oh, yeah, because of this fragile looking... Is this a wooden bridge? Yikes. Is that too scary? Yeah, so the original author of Hungary map, I think, has stopped since. But thankfully, someone has taken over and is continuing to update the stuff. So we have actually a 141 compatible map of Hungary map. Oh, yikes. What is this? Detour. Oh, looks like some spillage there. Interesting. Totally forgot about this road already. Probably have driven over this road for maybe in the past few years. I've driven through here, but yeah, I've totally forgotten how this road looks, what to expect, and that's great. Everything feels totally brand new, and the graphics, the vegetation, the trees look good, the skies and the tint looks good. No complaints here. But yes, so there have been some updates. Hungary map got updated for 141. Maybe we can check that out eventually. That's something we can add to the things of list we can do in ETS2. But yeah, I've just been a bit, how do you say? You could say I'm a bit soul searching, you know? I still love the sightseeing aspect, like what we're seeing right now. I still love the driving aspect. It's just that sometimes I find it a bit, like, how do you say? It does sometimes feel that it's the same thing, right? Like, whether you're driving this truck or that, whether you're driving a DAF XG or an Actros MP4, or a classic truck and a modern truck, there is a big difference in how that feels in the interior. But overall, the feeling of the driving, after you get settled in a while, will start to feel the same. So I'm not that excited for trying out different trucks these days. Not as much as before. Because when I went flying, you know, as I get more exposed more and more to flight sim, I get exposed to different planes and how different they are. Because with flight sim, right, you can like really literally manipulate each of the switches. Each of the planes have a different startup sequence. Each of them have their own quirks. Can't go past this RPM. You have to let the oil temperature heat up before you do anything. This one doesn't have GPS. This one has. This one cannot be revved too high. You know, each of them have their own quirks and they have their own personalities. And you really feel that when you fly them. I'm hoping for something similar in truck sim, you know, because I'm sure there are in reality, right? Especially if you're driving an old truck versus a new truck. I'm sure those intricacies exist in real life. Like for old trucks, I don't know, maybe you guys can help me out, comment something. Like, what is the difference in driving an old truck versus a new truck? You know, some of the things that you would have to take note of, especially in an older truck, like, I don't know, yeah, maybe heating up the engine before you start moving. You know, letting the oil temperature climb. Is that a thing in trucks as well? I would imagine so. But yeah, those kinds of things, I am craving for that kind of simulation. And sometimes it feels like in truck sim, because we are more of like you have it more casual, right, in truck sim. So you choose a different truck, it looks cool, it looks different, it sounds different, although at the end of the day they kind of drive the same. The feeling of driving is still the same, right? Maybe sometimes it's automatic, sometimes it's manual, but the power more or less is the same, unless you have a very different engine, a very weak engine. Mostly it's the same transmission maybe, but there is not much difference in actual personality. Okay, and you guys told me those are reindeers. Thank you for letting me know that, guys. So they're not moose, huh? These are Santa's reindeers on the loose, taking a vacation, because by December they'll be hard at work again, delivering gifts. But yeah, the sightseeing aspect never fails to impress. It's just that I'm craving for more simulation. Being exposed to how immersive a proper simulation can be. You know, each truck, each vehicle having its own personality, having its own startup sequence or things you need to check. It's something that I can fully nerd about, you know. I hardly tell it anymore. I hardly call myself that anymore, but the full name of the channel, right, is the Clumsy Geek. The clumsy part we always reiterate, but the geek part we often miss out on, we often skip out on. But these are the things I really love to geek in, to nerd at. The details of them, the intricacies, you know. And that's what makes it so immersive. You know, as part of that world tour series that we're starting, we're flying a small plane, a Piper Arrow, if you're familiar with it. It's a small plane, piston engine, single propeller. You know, it has a...
100 yards,
what?
Turn left.
Why wasn't the GPS telling me... Now you tell me that I'm speeding. And I forgot I didn't hear you anymore because I was complaining
Turn
about
left.
you. Okay, turn left, okay. There we go. So yes, I hope to get that level of immersion eventually. To be honest, I'm not sure we will get it though, because it doesn't seem like that is the goal. Like, I don't see Truck Sim, Euro Truck Sim, American Truck Sim going that deep into simulation. Like, you know, simulating each and every button, each and every new feature. Like, if it's a modern truck, it should have those fancy adaptive cruise control and what do you call it? All those new technologies, right? The automatic stopping. If there's something in front, you know, those things that the truck brands are advertising, their new technologies, that automatic, that smart, adaptive automatic transmission, where it shifts accordingly based on where you are in the world, right? If it's uphill, it will shift down automatically because it knows that there's an uphill coming. You know, those level of those details are great. And if you're driving an old truck, then the old truck can have its own personality, right? Like, I don't know, maybe it overheats too fast, or I don't know how it works with the other trucks, but those are the things I would love to learn. I would love to geek about. We often focus on the clumsy part, but I would love that chance to focus on the geeky parts as well. And that's the thing I'm craving for. That's why I've been really engrossed in flight sim. Because that's something I can get from those more detailed planes that are coming in. Like, for example, the DC-6, I've been featuring it in the channel for quite some time. Classic plane, 4 engines, so many quirks. You can't even, once you start the engines, and yes, engines with an S because it has 4, you have to let it sit there for a while. Let the oil temperature warm up, otherwise you risk overstressing it. The oil hasn't warmed up enough. The oil is still viscous because it's cold, so it's not lubricating, it's not flowing through the engine properly yet, and you can destroy your engines in the process because of it. So those kinds of things I really want. And if we could get that here in Truck Sim, some people might not like it though, because Truck Sim, I think the overall appeal of this is driving and relaxing and sightseeing, right? But if you add those elements, it might get a bit too onerous, a bit too cumbersome, because you have to think of these details. So if there was a way to simplify it like this, like what we're doing now, just turn on the engine and drive. If you want to relax, then that's great. But if you want to go hardcore, deep into the simulation, then you can change some setting. You know, like, I don't know, tick realistic or enable realistic procedures or something like that, right? And in a way, they have some of that already, right? The air brakes, for example. When your air pressure goes down, you have the low air pressure warning, and you cannot move. You know, things like that, because the brakes are locked into place. That's the start of a nice level of simulation. But yes, we are barely scraping the surface. Man, the sunlight looks beautiful. And against each of those leaves of those trees, you can see the sun rays seeping through. Ah, so nice. And yes, it should be late now. I purposely picked a job late in the afternoon. Hey, look at this, guys. It's actually almost 11 p.m. Would you believe that? Almost 11 p.m. and the sun is still there. Yeah, that was actually a test I purposely wanted to try out. As we get more to the north here, then we should get more of that, what do you call it again? Midnight sun? Something like that, right? Especially in summer. In winter, it might be the opposite.
Go straight.
Oh, we're here already.
50 yards, turn right.
50 yards, turn right, here.
Turn right.
Nice looking bridge. Is that crossing over to Norway? Maybe, if I'm reading those flags right. You guys let me know.
After 100 yards, turn left.
That's that sign. Landmannen.
left.
Yes, Landmannen Agro, exactly. That's the one. So we are not crossing the bridge, but we're going very close to it. Yes, these are the things that are on my wish list. Increased immersion by adding personalities to each of the trucks. And no, I don't mean that personality. Some people who have been in the channel for quite some time might know of what personality meant before when Cyberpunk came out. Personalities got a whole different meaning. Maybe we shouldn't go back to that era. Man, this place is looking amazing. I think we'll take a photo here. Sunset with such a nice view. That beats that initial view a while ago when we crossed the river.
You have reached your destination.
Thank you. Now I just need to find my parking spot. I guess it's somewhere there. I see the trailers are all the way back there. Alan and Cyril hanging out there. Guys, anyone care to let me know where we should be parking this thing? I don't see it. Let's have a look at the map. Oh, sneaky. Okay. Sneaky thing. Alright. Oh, there it is. Missed it. So we're probably reversing onto that one, huh? Man, farm sim hype. Okay, that means we'll have to turn left here. Very nice view from this farm. Although, isn't it a bit scary? Is there no like... But maybe this is a lake, huh? Yeah, this is probably a lake or something. So I'm thinking of like high tides and low tides. Doesn't the water go up here? I'm pretty much not familiar with bodies of water and their effects on nearby land areas. So I typically immediately assume that everywhere you go, there would be high tides and low tides. Is that a thing only for the seas and oceans, maybe? I wouldn't know, and I'm sure someone does in the channel. Oi, 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 that's a very far parking. Let's line that up properly. There you go. Good. Nonetheless, the views here are amazing. No complaints here at all. At all. Yikes. Also, I know some guys have been wanting to join the convoy. Don't worry guys, we'll have more convoys in the future. We'll probably have convoys where anyone can join, you know. And we'll do like multiple short trips, so each time we can have like a different batch of people joining. If you have more than 8 people, because currently convoys only have a max of 8 people, right? We can have like first batch, first job would be the first 8. After we finish that delivery, we'll change positions so the next 7 people can join in, you know, things like that. So everyone can have their turn joining the convoy, joining the fun. We'll have to find a way to limit the comms though, because it might get a bit chaotic. We'll have to get rid of trolls. We'll have to control a bit the voice chat. Maybe we'll use the CB radio only. Try to minimize that so it's not going to be overthrowing each of the voices. But we'll find a way, and you can expect that to happen a lot more in the near future, especially when they start enabling mods. Oh my goodness, we'll do that every week maybe, hopefully. Well, here's to hoping. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed that quick trip. Thank you for watching, and yes, expect more trucking videos in the future, just not as often, but quality over quantity, right? Thanks for watching, have a nice day, catch you in the next one, bye bye.